Hi there and welcome back. I'm Renee Fuentes with Thai Caliente, and today I'm sharing a recipe for beef tamales. So I already have a recipe for salsa verde chicken tamales. The difference with this recipe is I'm going to be making the masa with leftover bacon grease. The original recipe that I have, I use avocado to make the masa. So both are gonna work just as great. Recipe, obviously the masa is gonna have a little bit more flavor from the bacon grease, give it a little bit of extra moisture. So if you're curious, you can always try both options. So we are making a small batch of tamales. This makes about 16, which is great if you're not gonna have a lot of people over this time of year. You can also double the batch as needed. And so like my first tamale recipe, I am cooking the tamales in the Instant Pot. So this is great because they are ready in just 30 minutes. The pot, so I have an 8-quart. So I could probably fit about 2 dozen tamales in there. If you have a smaller one, obviously you'll fit less. But I'm just gonna show you guys with about 10 tamales just so you can get a feel for how to stack them in the Instant Pot. Okay, so let me go ahead and go over what you're gonna need to make tamales.
So the first step is to soak all of your corn husk in hot water. This kind of helps let them soften and be a little bit more pliable. You also want to make sure you rinse them off too. So this is the corn flour that I'm using. This is the masa brand. So it's just instant corn masa flour, and it'll say on there it's for tortillas or tamales. And we are using 3 cups of the masa. So once your masa is in there, we are going to add half a teaspoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of salt. And this is half a cup of leftover bacon grease. So it was solidified, and then I just heated it up to turn it into a liquid. You can also do oil or manteca or lard. So I'm gonna mix the masa, the baking powder, the salt, and the bacon grease together first. And then once it kind of forms little, looks like sand, I'm gonna start adding my warmed beef broth. So since I'm doing beef tamales, I'm using beef broth. When I make chicken, I do chicken broth, but really either or works, it's interchangeable. But I just slowly added it in, and it's gonna look pretty wet. So once everything is incorporated, I'm gonna turn up the speed on my mixer, and then every few minutes I'm gonna scrape down the sides of the bowl. So I mix this for a total of about 5 minutes on in between, you know, scraping the bowl and adding everything in. But you want it to kind of be like soft cookie dough, if that makes sense. And you also want to give it a little bit of taste. So just taste a little bit of the masa just to make sure it has enough seasoning. If not, then go ahead and add a little bit more salt. Okay, so our corn husks have already been soaked in warm water. I'm just drying them off so that way they're not too wet. So on the corn husk, there is a smooth side and a rough side. So you want to put the masa on the smooth side. So these corn husks are kind of small, so I'm just going to layer them together. If you have a large corn husk, then you don't need to do that. So remember, I'm putting it on the smooth side, and I just have a spatula here just kind of for easy spreading. And you just want to kind of make an even layer of masa. So you want to start in the middle and then go up to the sides and just leave kind of a little, maybe like ½ an inch on the side and on the top. But again, just kind of smooth it out. This does take some practice, so the more you do it, the easier it will get. I still don't have it perfect, but definitely practice makes perfect. So I like a lot of meat in my tamales, so I'm loading up. This is my Mexican pot roast beef, shredded beef, that I will link the recipe for you guys in the iCard. And then you're just gonna fold one side over and then the other side, and then bring the bottom up right where the masa ends. You can kind of also seal the top and the bottom just to kind of give it some more structure. And then you're just going to repeat the process until all of your tamales are done. So like I mentioned, this is just a small batch. We're just making 16 tamales, which in most Mexican cultures, that's not very many. But you know what? It's 2020. So if you just need a small batch, then this is perfect. If this is your first time, then again, this is a great way to practice. So I'm just folding it over and then tucking in the bottom. So once all of your tamales are done, we are going to cook them in the Instant Pot. I'm adding 1 cup of water and adding the trivet. If you have a steamer basket, that's going to work even better. I'm putting a bowl there just because, like I mentioned, I'm not cooking a full pot. If you were cooking a full pot of tamales, then they would all kind of stand in together and be supported by each other. But I'm just layering these tamales on the outside. I had a few small ones that I made for my kids. But once you have all your tamales in, you're gonna close the lid, put the valve onto sealing. And my original recipe, I did 20 minutes, and I did get some feedback that it wasn't enough time. So I'm gonna do this for 30 minutes, which those did work out. You want to let the tamales rest for at least 10 minutes in the Instant Pot and then release the steam. And then once you take them out, you want them to rest for at least another 20 minutes so that way the masa kind of sets up. If you open it right away, it is going to look a little bit mushy, but the way you know that a tamale is done is that it will release from the husk, so it won't be sticking from the corn husk. So these are perfect. They did not stick to the corn husk, and they are ready to eat. Oh my gosh, I wish you guys could taste this. They taste so good. The meat is so flavorful, and the masa with the bacon grease just puts it over the top. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave me any comments below, and I really hope you try making tamales this Christmas for your family. And I want to wish you a happy, healthy, and safe holiday season. Till next time, have a great day. Bye guys.